what actually happened was John and I, John's my co-founder and also my brother, we went to startup school back in October of 2009.
At Y Combinator.
Right. Are we allowed to talk about other startup conferences?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah. It's all one big happy
falls
family.
on me from the stage.
No.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So we went to startup school back in 2009, and
I talked about PayPal. I mean, it's
fair. Yep. And so John and I were very inspired, and we were having dinner afterwards, and we've been kind of talking about an idea around this for a while, just because we'd sold some apps in the App Store, and it had been incredibly easy, right? And we were generating enough revenue from those apps to help pay for our college tuition bills at the time. And we were kind of reflecting on how it was so easy to sell apps in the App Store, and it was so monstrously difficult to just do anything involving kind of transactions or commerce or business on the sort of broader internet, right? And so we're kind of chatting about this idea. And then kind of walking home from dinner, and it was over in Potrero. I remember John kind of turning to me and arguing that, well, we should just go build a prototype of this. Like how hard can it be?
Right. How hard could it be to start a billion-dollar company?
And so here we are. Again, soon it'll be a decade later, and John is who you should blame.
But you raised a little bit of money. I know because Sequoia back in the day started something called Scouts. Which was like a group of us, including Sam Altman, who Sam and I were both Sequoia founders, but they started the Scouts thing, and Roelof both was like, hey, can you guys put 25 or 50K into some companies? And I think the first time I heard about you was Sam was like, yeah, this company Stripe is going to make payments easier, and he put money into it. And I was like, you should see this cab company. Uber's going to change everything. Those were the two investments.
Sounds like a good program, yeah. So we... Well, we were in school at the time, and so...
talk about the funding, and how you met Sam.
So we weren't kind of initially sure how seriously to take it. And, I always love the story that in sort of the famous house that Facebook started in Palo Alto, that like Facebook was not the only company they were working on, right? There was also that peer-to-peer file sharing thing, right?
Sure.
But I mean, Facebook had sort of launched at Harvard at least in I think February of 2004, right? And so they're working in that house, that subsequent summer. And I find it very interesting that sort of, call it 6 months later, it was kind of not obvious that like Facebook was the thing to be working on, right? And so you're kind of pursuing multiple ideas in parallel. And sort of similarly, with Stripe, even once we built this little prototype that we thought held some promise or whatever, it wasn't like obviously a great idea or anything, right? And we still had these apps in the App Store. They sort of it helped you store a copy of Wikipedia on your iPhone. We thought that had some kind of interesting opportunities. What's the future of knowledge sharing or whatever, right?
Wait. So this was an app that.
You could just read all of Wikipedia, like stored offline on your iPhone, the whole thing.
Very nice.
And so you're on a plane, or you're in a different country, or you're on a mountain.
So you just build that over a weekend, and like, this is cool.
I actually built it when I was in Japan, back when the iPhone first came out, and there was I didn't have a data plan or anything, and so I was just so frustrated with not having access to Wikipedia that we just went and built this app. But anyway, I guess the point being, we didn't know if we should raise money for Stripe or not, because we're in school. Was this going to be kind of a serious thing? And so what we actually went and did was we came out to the Bay Area that subsequent summer. This was for us in the summer of 2010, and just decided to kind of work on Stripe as our kind of bootstrapped internship, sort of self-internship.
But you were smart enough to come here for some reason. You just thought you'd get more.
Well, especially for Stripe, given that we were kind of our target audience was other startups, other entrepreneurs, other founders, and so on. Sort of being in the Bay Area felt like a pretty obvious thing to do. And then over the course of that summer, basically, and again, I think there's kind of maybe a lesson here where, I think a lot of really good ideas really don't seem particularly great or big upfront. Again, certainly speaking from personal experience, Stripe did not. But over the course of working on it that summer and sort of thinking about it and so on, we kind of came to shift from sort of thinking about it, merely as this nice little tool for developers that kind of makes their lives easier, initially, which is kind of what we started out with, to kind of realizing that, well, when you sort of survey the broader landscape, it's not just that it sort of sucks for developers to have to sort of integrate payments initially into their website or service or whatever, but that like the whole edifice is broken, right? I mean, 2% at the time, 2% of all consumer spending took place on the internet. And it's like, why is it so low? Why is it so insanely difficult for any company to do anything that touches online transactions? When we talked to a mid-sized company or a large company, it's like, what's your experience of just like dealing with business and the internet, and they would spend half an hour telling us about sort of the markets they couldn't serve and their fraud challenges and the things they couldn't integrate, and just we came to appreciate that sort of what we thought was kind of this little pond was actually kind of this much larger ocean. And so basically that summer we kind of made two decisions: to drop out of school, or as our mom continues to prefer we call it, to take a leave of absence, and then secondly we had to go raise some initial money from Sam Altman and Peter Thiel and Sequoia and a couple of others.
Hey, if you're a small or medium-sized business, even a large one, you're trying to find solutions to solve your problems, right? Wouldn't it be great if there was like a directory or a marketplace where all these great web services were found? Well, that service now exists. It's called Capterra, C-A-P-T-E-R-R-A, Capterra. And they help you find the software solution that your business needs right now. You can just go to capterra.com/twist, and whether you need website building or customer service, project management, maybe you want to track applications and do email marketing, it's so easy to use. You'll find 400 different categories of software to choose from with thousands of ratings and reviews from actually people who've used this software. You get to have that experience where before you go to the restaurant, you can hear what other people did. Well, this is just like those services. Before you use the software, you can hear what other people who've actually used the software think. Millions of people are using Capterra every month, and it's free. That's the best part about it. There's no obligation. You don't even need to register. It's a free resource that will help you make the right decision when evaluating software. And you want to make the right decision because everybody knows it's a little bit of an investment, right? In which one of these software programs you pick, there's cost involved, there's onboarding time involved, there's training. You want to pick the right one, and Capterra will help you pick the right software to grow your company. Find the right software to help you do what you do better. Capterra.com/twist. Capterra.com/twist. Welcome to the program, Capterra. Everybody follow Capterra on Twitter, and if you're a super fan, you know what to do. Say thank you at Capterra on your Twitter handle and let them know that you love them for supporting independent media like This Week in Startups, where we all learn so much every week, twice a week, 100+ episodes a year. We're all learning so much here thanks to people like Capterra that support independent media like This Week in Startups. Okay, speaking of which, let's get back to this amazing program.